The Liberal Party will move to select a candidate for the outer Melbourne seat of Aston after a date was set for the by-election. Voters in the federal Victorian electorate will head to the polls on April 1 to replace Alan Tudge.
Outer suburban Melbourne is now the next electoral battleground in federal politics. Voters in Aston set to go to the polls on April 1.
We could see an upset on the cards here where a federal Commonwealth government for the first time snatches a seat off the opposition. It's definitely a possibility.
Veteran Labor campaign director, now pollster with Redbridge Group Cos Samaras, explains that the seat is essentially split in two, with Labor's fortunes increasing after Jackson Taylor snatched the new state seat of Bayswater last November.
It's really one of the few seats that have provided any stability to the coalition, particularly in Melbourne, I would say, over the last 10 years. But even at the last federal election, it went down to 2.8%. Aston's effectively is a federal seat that has two halves to it. First half is obviously the northern part, which is Bayswater, the Bayswater end, which historically has been moving away from the coalition towards Labor, both at a state and federal level. But the coalition stronghold is Rowville, which is the southern parts of the electorate.
Both Anthony Albanese and Peter Dutton chose to recently campaign in the northern part of Aston, proving just how serious both parties are taking the contest. But the test may be more for Mr Dutton, keen to hang on to the seat.
Well, I think it's a tough seat for us to retain. Alan Tudge has done a great job as a local member, but it's a tough, difficult circumstance in any by-election. The government's still in its honeymoon, and there are a lot of local issues at play. But I'm confident ultimately that we can win. But I think it'll be a tough fight, and I think we go into it clearly as the underdogs.
Making matters worse, the Liberals still without a candidate as they wait for a formal pre-selection to find a contender to Labor's Mary Doyle. Senior Liberal sources have told Sky News that the Administrative Committee of the state branch of the Liberal Party was due to decide on Monday if it would deny local members a say in choosing the candidate. That was prompted by the timing of the by-election. But there is a view among party elders that if locals are denied a say, there would be backlash on President Greg Mirabella. The seat is held by the Liberals on a 2.8% margin. However, Labor is understood to be throwing increased resources at the seat and planning a campaign launch. Simon Love, Sky News, Melbourne.